To December, yay! So this one is going to be a little bit of a sidestep from Elementor. We're going to be talking about setting SMART business goals for 2023. I thought with it being the end of the year, people are starting to think towards 2023, setting some good goals would be ideal, I think. So this is a rough agenda, so we try and start on time. And we do a little bit of welcome introductions, what's new, and then get on to today's topic. We try and finish for 7 o'clock. Here's the organisers. I'll start with myself, and I'll get the others to jump in if they can. So my name is Will Brown. I am a WordPress developer. You can call it developer consultant. I mostly build third-party API integrations for WordPress. So I make WordPress talk to other systems and other systems talk to WordPress. So I've been using WordPress since about 2006. So not long after it came out. And so I'm also one of the organisers for the WordPress Sydney meetup. And I'm also vice president of Linux Australia this year as well, which is like the group for the open source community in Australia. John is not here. He's over in Europe with his lovely fiance, and they're doing a tour from there. So we won't see John tonight. But Julia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Julia. I'm a web designer in a software company here in Sydney, but I also own my digital agency on the side. We do web design, graphic design, and social media management. I have been following Will and the rest of the organizers in this adventure on and off whenever possible, and definitely happy to be here and learn new things from all of you as well.
Great, thank you, Julia. Morris is here. He's on the bus just now. I think he's going to remain muted at the moment. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Morris, but you can jump in if you want to, but I think you're going to be on mute. Yep. We do have a code of conduct. Excuse me. We have a code of conduct for all these meetings. I'll copy that into the chat. This really boils down to be respectful, have transparency, and benefit the community as well. If you do have any issues, you can email us directly. So you can email us directly through the events, Elementor events website, or on Facebook here privately if you've got any problems for those, or follow up with email as well. So this is a safe place. We want to be inclusive and friendly and respectful. Now we'll give you a chance to introduce yourselves if you want to. You don't have to. So we'll give you all like 5 minutes, just to say who you are, what you do with WordPress or Elementor, but more importantly, what you're drinking. So I have my decaf tea right here, and I also have a glass of water. No wine tonight, because I might pick up my wife later on from the train station. Okay, if you want to introduce yourselves, please can either use a little icon to raise your hand or just unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Bridget. I've been using Elementor since the start of the year with an events company. And I've just been loving it, and I'm really happy that there's an interest here in Sydney, as I saw in the chat. And I'm just keen to learn what I can.
Welcome.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you. Oh, and what I'm drinking, hot chocolate, and I still got the spoon in there, so that way, I can refill quicker, optimize.
Excellent. With marshmallows?
Oh, no, I put sugar in instead.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to introduce themselves?
I'll say hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Murray. I'm from Melbourne. Brain dead. It's Thursday, and I've still got another day to go. Crazy. Yes, it's December. Not drinking anything. I really wished I needed to drink pretty quickly, pretty badly. But anyway, yes, I've been using Elementor a year and a half, 2 years maybe, something like that. Have a background in web dev, started back in '97 but just been playing around, learning it, and seeing what it can do. Loving all the hooks, a lot of the actions and all that you can do to pull in additional technologies. Constantly finding myself down rabbit holes, trying to find out the depths it goes to, and it goes deep. But other than that, really enjoying it, and yes, and I'm glad that I actually managed to get in. I was actually watching it on Facebook while I was trying to actually find the Zoom link. So yeah, so anyway, that's me. And I'm not drinking anything at the moment, but I will be hopefully soon.
We'll
Probably
be drinking for you.
some nice green ginger wine or something.
Sounds good.
I guess no. My name is Silke, and I'm sitting here in today quite rainy Noosa in Queensland. I've been designing websites since 2000, 2001. Had a look at WordPress around 2004 and thought it was absolutely rubbish. And yeah, continued on doing my HTML, CSS things in 2000, and had my own little boutique agency up in North Queensland in Cairns. And sold this one in 2007. Started a family in 2009, and basically kept just a handful of clients there, and had a bit of a hiatus from web design. And after sort of 12 years, I started to rise from the ashes again, and had a look at various WordPress themes, and also a builder. Divi was recommended to me, and I played a little bit around with that one, but didn't like it very much. Then Elementor sort of entered the scene, and so I feel like I can cover the basics and maybe a little bit more than the basics, but I know this system, this platform can and builder can do so much more. And I just try to work out whether that's my go-to and what I want to do in the future. I really just want to focus on one builder rather than doing various themes, various builders. Just become very good just in one thing, and that's it. So I'm looking at building again my own business website, and I also started a little bit on the side being a Pilates instructor earlier this year. So again, I don't want to sit in front of a computer all the time. And sort of trying to get something off the ground with my new Pilates business as well. So that even up to various videos and digital media and advertising and all of these, things. So yeah, that's me. Big list of big to-do list. But yeah, so that's me, and that's my to-do list. Thank you.
Welcome.
That is great. Welcome,
also,
welcome.
And a drink, yes, just water. Just a glass
Just water.
of water.
We're all on water tonight. Oh, that's great. Thanks very much for letting us know a little bit about yourselves. I think for those who are just starting and you've got a lot of stuff in front of you, just try and take steps forward. And tonight we're going to show you how to break down those steps into kind of meaningful goals as well. So hopefully you can use that as well. Maybe not just plan for 2023, but planning for what you want to do with your business and the steps you need to take so you can actually achieve those goals. I'm reminded of a guy called Vin, and he's one of these public speakers, and he was given a keynote at Microsoft, I think it was, and he got everyone to stand up and stare at each other. So everyone was staring at each other and says, have a look, visualize that person. And then they got them to turn around and put their backs to each other so they couldn't see them. He says, now I want you to make a change to yourself. I want you to make 33 distinct changes to your appearance. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, you can see people panicking. They don't really know where to start. And he says, I'm kidding. Just make one change. So he told them to make the one change. Everyone spun around, had to try and identify what that change was. So he did it again. He said, spin round again, backs to each other, make another change, spin round, see if you can identify that. He did that 5 times, and everyone kind of pretty much, found out, what was happening. But the moral of the story was that the people were panicking when they had to make these 33 different changes. But when they were told to make one change at a time, they were happy to do that. They just automatically did that. They went to change and they did that. And then the next one, they did one change. So kind of the moral of the story was, if you've got lots of stuff in front of you, break it down into a series of small steps so it doesn't seem overwhelming. And you can do that. You can do that easily. Everyone can always do one step at a time. Okay, so let's get into some of the updates. So there's not a lot of updates. What's happened last month? There's one fix that Elementor came out with, so version 3.8.1. It's a slight fix, and it's for PHP 8. So when they were saving the site settings, it would come up with warnings, PHP warnings on the screen, which is never a nice thing. So if you don't know, PHP, which is the programming language that WordPress and Elementor sits on top of, version 7.4, which is the highest version 7, that has been sunsetted. And what they mean by that, it's end of life, is that they're not going to make any changes to that. So there's no security fixes and there's no more updates on the version 7 for that. So if you are running version 7, you really should be thinking about migrating over to version 8, because that's where all the security and that's where all the updates are going to happen. So you can have a conversation with your web host, or most web hosting systems, they have a little PHP icon that you can click on and you can actually change the version. So I would really urge you, if you don't know, or if you know you're on version 7, is to have a look at that over the next week and upgrade to PHP 8 and above for those, just to make sure that your WordPress is continuing on and that you're not, having any issues with security or anything that's happening. So this is what this fix was for. This fix was for correcting PHP version 8 and above. This is a small hot fix for those. Okay, let's go on to tonight's main topic. So it's setting SMART business goals for 2023. Now, we're all looking forward to 2023 being a better year for our business. I really, really do hope it's going to be a better year. But that's not just going to happen. So things don't just happen on their own. We need to have a plan ahead, and think about the goals and the outcomes that we want to achieve for next year. So let's workshop this one together. So this is a little bit of an activity for you guys to do. You don't have to do that, but it'd be nice if you try. So grab a pencil and a paper. You can do it on the screen or your notepad or your notebook or whatever you've got to hand. And we'll try and do a little bit of a workshop together for this. Okay, so I'll give you a few seconds to grab that. Grab a bit of paper. I've got one down here somewhere. I love this GIF. I think it's fantastic. I wish they had more Star Wars cat GIFs. Right.
Is this to entertain us while you find pen and paper?
It is. It is.
We are entertained, Will.
Okay. Everyone should have that. Bridget loves the GIF. It's fantastic. It'd be even better if it had like lightsaber sounds. But anyway. Okay, so first, what we need to do, we have to figure out what are the things we need to change about our business for next year. It's no good just putting your finger up in the air and just guessing. We need to figure out exactly what we want to change. And the best way of doing this is to complete a SWOT analysis. If you've not heard of that, has anyone heard of SWOT analysis? But yes or no? I got some noddings of the heads. Yep, cool. Okay, so if SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you can do it in 4 vertical columns, or you can do it as some people like to just do a quad on the sheet for those. But the strengths, they are things that your business does well. So this is in the positive frame of mind. So you can think about, what does your company do well? What are you good at? What are the qualities that separate you from your competitor? What are your skills like? Are there any? Do you have like any assets for you? So these are like positive strengths that your company has or your business has. So you can jot down some of those. The next one is weaknesses. So this is identifying things that your company or your business lacks, things that maybe your competitor does better than you do, or maybe you've got your unique selling proposition is a little bit weaker than you'd like, so you need to strengthen that. So this is the weaknesses. So what do we need to do and to move that into a strength, basically? What's holding you back? O is for opportunities. So this covers everything that you could do to improve things like sales, things like lead generation, growing generally as a business, maybe scaling or advancing your mission. So we're going to think external stuff here, and we're going to think positive again. So weaknesses was internal and negative. The last one is T is for threats. So what things pose a risk to either your business itself or your likelihood to succeed in growth. And that these are external things for those. So external and negative we're thinking. So we're thinking about competition here. We're thinking about maybe changes to regulations, environment. We're maybe thinking about cost of living, that sort of stuff. So what sort of negative things is happening within your business? It's going to stop you moving forward or could possibly stop you moving forward. So I'll give you a couple of minutes for this. And then we'll jot some stuff down and figure this one out. I'll play a little bit of music as well. There we go. I've got some stuff down from mine. Last 10 seconds. There we go. Okay. Hopefully everyone's scribbled some stuff down for their SWOT analysis. Okay, now I would love you to share some of the results in the chat. Let's start with strengths. So for strengths, I did my SWOT analysis. It's not very illegible, sorry. There we go. Just off the cuff, I put down for my strengths, I put development, as in, my developer background. I've got a good strength in that. I put down community. I think, I help out with the community. I think I've got a really good, strong community for WordPress and Elementor here in Sydney. And so that's definitely a strength of mine. Automation. So I'm really big into business automation. So I like to automate everything. If I could get the handkerchiefs to come towards me when I sneezed, I would automate that as well. Those are my strengths. If anyone's got some strengths, they can put them down in the chat. Weaknesses as well. I've got email lists. So I'm spinning up a new business for courses, WordPress courses. So yeah, some of my weaknesses is I have no email list. Nobody likes me. It's a new business, so I'm basically starting from scratch, and it's a new audience as well. It's a new target audience, so none of my existing marketing really applies to that. So Bridget is saying that automation was her weakness. Yes, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. For strengths, Murray's got passion and lots of legacy knowledge. Great job. Don't be afraid to put down your weaknesses as well. It's always good to to clarify exactly where we are and what we need to do to get better. Some of the opportunities I put down. Well, it's a new business. So communication. Atol's communication is one of his strengths. That's fantastic. Opportunities for me is there's no competitors. There's no direct competitors in the market. So I pretty much got a free rein. Yay! Well, at the moment, I shouldn't say that. Don't anyone listen to this. Weaknesses, Murray, to be flexible at times and being a perfectionist. I can relate to that, and time constraints facilitate as well. Bridget asked, does MySpace and Pico design experience count as a strength anymore? MySpace, maybe not so much. Is it still going? Is it still going? For opportunities, Murray says good organic networking. Atol says scalable and full-time. Yep. Julia's got strength, design and consulting, weakness, lack of self-promotion. Yep, we've all been there. Some of my threats is time. I've not got a lot of time. I do a lot of stuff. Some of the threats are maybe if a competitor does come back into the market, just as I'm trying to spin up. Other threats are cost of living. My courses are going to be kind of at the higher end, the high ticket items, so there might not be people available to pay for those or buy those at the moment. Murray says ever-changing tech and too little time. Yeah. And Atol says for weaknesses, a lack of experience. Yep. So if you're new to this, especially Elementor, I do urge you to spin up little projects yourself that you can do. You don't have to always just do stuff for clients. You can just come up a little project and just give yourself an objective to do. So small steps to do. Silk says strengths is experience, design, dev skills, marketing skills, and networking. Great. Julia's opportunities are to explore new markets, speaking different languages. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. And threats are staff leaving for larger companies. Silk has an opportunity, sale opportunity in cooperation with fitness center offered. Excellent. It's always good when somebody is willing to connect and network with you. It's always a great way to build up your own strengths and build up on your weaknesses as well. So that's great. Well, thanks very much, everyone. It sounds like you've done a really good job with the SWOT analysis. So let's keep going on. Business objectives. So a business objective is a measurable result of an organization. It's something they're aiming to accomplish. So objectives are usually set using the S.M.A.R.T goal framework, and that's what we're going to look at next. Now, why are business objectives important? Well, creating a strong business objective is important for your organization because it helps you, for example, keep employees focused on growth. It can strengthen key elements of the business as well. If you've got something you're always striving towards, it's going to strengthen your business foundations. It can motivate you and your team towards a particular larger goal or a series of small goals. It can help structure tasks and responsibilities. So it defines what people are doing. And if they know what they're doing, then they're usually more productive in that. It can increase your market share. It can drive teams' cooperations and collaboration as well. Again, if everyone knows what they're doing, if everyone's on the same page with an objective, then it does help with that. It can build better networking relationships as well. If you're defining objectives for social, for example, and it can promote better cost control and budgeting as well. So in general, there's four main business objective topics. There's economic, human, organic, and social. So economic, this is your survival mode. So you can break down, this is the money side. You can break it down into survival. So which is you are making enough money, basically to cover the expenses and keep the lights on. Nobody likes to be in that position, but if you're working for yourself or you've got a small business, you also need to keep that ticking over. In the positive, just enough to pay your bills, pay your employees, pay your tax, and keep it going. It's not a great mode being in survival mode. It's definitely something you want to get out of. And so that would be a definite goal to set. But other things as well, under the economic objectives are profits. So beyond survival, most businesses, of course, want to make money. so that the owners can share in the profits and the employees too. And then longer term, still in economic, is growth. So how can the company grow and scale for long-term growth? So economic, we think about money. Human, we're thinking about the people that we work with. So it's making employees feel valued and supported. And this can extend also to remote staff and virtual assistants as well. So anyone you work with for those. So we're thinking about things like, pay competitive salaries. That could be a good objective. Offer employee perks as well, or provide some personal growth opportunities, or even just as simple as, to provide a safe and environmentally friendly working condition. Those would be kind of objectives under the human terms. We're all thinking about people and how people work and how people connect with each other. The organic goals, organic business objectives are kind of goals that incorporate all aspects of the business, its development, its survival, its progress, and its outlook. So common examples of these would be things like improving your brand and reputation. So brand and reputation, they're intangibles. So, you can't see them or feel them, but, you can put them into motion for those. It might be for a growing production size to meet demand. So if you're in a niche in the industry that's really taken off and growing, then it could be an objective there to keep up with demand and grow your business that way. It could be driving innovation, ideas through focused activities as well, or even using profits from the economic side to then raise capital and strengthen the business going forwards. And lastly, there's our social objectives. So these are objectives that are all about client relationships. They're all about community and how to give back to society in general. So some examples in this objectives might be to reduce your carbon footprint, to take care of the environment. That's really important just now. Ensuring that there's an anti-discriminate employee practices so that everyone feels safe and welcomed at work. It could be ensuring there's a fair competitive pricing element to your products and services, or growing brand awareness again, or sharing knowledge with the community, which is what we do in these meetup here. So that's kind of 4 main business objectives that most stuff will fit into at some point. So before we set some goals for 2023, let's recap on what SMART goals are. Now, whenever you set any goals, you should probably be using the SMART framework. Now, SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based or time-bound. Murray's eating dinner while they watch. That's okay. That's no problem. Everyone relax. Okay, so before we go forward, let's have a look of an example of a bad, or maybe not a bad goal, but maybe just not a SMART goal. So meet business owner Bob. Here's Bob. He's thinking about 2023 and he wants to grow his business email list. So it's currently at 0. So he's written down on his bit of paper that his main goal for 2023 is to grow my email list. Now, growing your business email list is a great end objective. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's see how this holds up as a SMART goal. Okay, so let's have a look at each of the bits in SMART. So SMART stands for specific. And in general, it answers these questions. So what needs to be accomplished? Who's responsible for it? And what steps do we need to be taken to actually achieve that goal? So I've grayed out the original one, grow my email list, and thinking about specific, I'm adding some specificity into here. And the new goal is now grow my email list by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promote them on social media myself. So I've answered 3 questions here. What needs to be accomplished? Well, I need to create some quality lead magnets, 3 of them. Who's doing it? Well, it's myself. And what needs to be done? I need to create them lead magnets and I need to promote them on social media. So I've kind of ticked that specific. So we can see now that, the grow my email list, while it's a great goal, it's not really specific. So I've added that specificity in there. The next one, M, is for measurable. So here you want to quantify your results, or example, to add some sort of measurement to your goal. So being specific is good start, but we need to be able to quantify or measure the results. We need to add a unit of measurement to our goals. If there's no unit of measurement, then how do you know when your goal has been reached, or if it was a success or failure? This is why measurable is really, really important. So I've grayed out the old goal, or the one we did previously. and now I'm adding an extra bit to it. So grow my email list to 5,000 people by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promoting them on social media myself. So now we've got a unit of measurement. So I want to grow my email list from 0 to 5,000 people. Yeah, it's a unit. And there we go. So that's definitely measurable, because if we don't hit that, then we've failed. If we do hit that, we've succeeded. So let's move on. A is for attainable. So here is when we have to be a little bit realistic about achieving the goal. So being attainable gives your goal a reality check. Can you really achieve this goal? So let's look at what we did last one. So we put a measurement in, or I put a measurement in. I'd love to grow my email list from 0 to 5,000 people. But, I currently have 0 on my list, and, 0 to 5,000, that sounds like a lot of work. So let's keep this goal simple so it's easy to achieve. So this time I'm going to change this to grow my email list from 0 to 100 people by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promoting them on social media myself. Remember what I said at the start about those 33 changes that people have made, are asked to make people? Well, this is where the attainable comes in. You really have to look at your goal and think, can I actually achieve that? I would love 5,000 email subscribers, but in reality, it sounds an awful lot of work. Let's pin that back and just start simple. Let's start with like 100. That sounds attainable to me. Moving on is R for relevant. So here you need to zoom out and make sure that the goal that you are setting is relevant for your business and the overall direction that you want to be moving in. So basically, we're thinking about the big picture. Will this goal produce a relevant result? And why are you setting this goal in the first place? So again, we've grayed out the statement from the goal from previous. So now to bring in some relevancy, I've got now my goal is to grow my email list from 0 to 100 people by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promoting them on social media myself. And here's the relevancy: in order to nurture my contacts and prime them for a sale. Essentially, everyone wants to build up an email list so that eventually you can sell your products, sell your services to them. That's the whole point. A business builds an email list. So now we're bringing in some relevancy. So if I was going to say to myself 2 months down the line, why am I building my email list? Well, this is the part, the relevance. This is why I am doing this task. So last one here, T is for time-based. So how long is it going to take? Now you need to specify a time period in order to achieve the goal. If your activity goes on for months, it can make the goal seem pretty unachievable. And other factors might come in to play to kind of prevent that outcome. If you set it too short, you may not have enough time to put the work into achieving that goal. So you need to kind of set a reasonable amount of time and, that you need to achieve that particular goal. Not too short and not too long. So we're not talking like a couple of days and we're not talking a year. So this is kind of called the Goldilocks zone. There's nothing set in stone that says, what the time should be, but roughly you don't want it too long to drag on and you don't want it too short. You can't actually see results coming back. So here's the new goal. And this is the final one. So to grow my email list from 0 to 100 people by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promoting them on social media myself. And here at the time-based over the next 3 months in order to nurture my contacts and prime them for a sale. So here we've added a time limit. So we've added 3 months. And again, we should be looking through all these S.M.A.R.T to make sure that they're all okay. So again, we're thinking about attainable here. So just run over your final goal through all 5 of those parts, the SMART goal, just to make sure that everything is achievable, attainable, time-based. So about 3 months to me seems like a pretty good time. I think I can do that. 100 people over the next 3 months. So here we are. Evolution to a SMART goal. So we started off with grow my email list, which is a very simple goal. It's a good goal, but it wasn't very smart. And now we have a very smart goal. Grow my email list from 0 to 100 people by creating 3 quality lead magnets and promoting them on social media myself over the next 3 months in order to nurture the contacts and prime them for a sale. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it is timely, because we measure after 3 months and see where we are. Okay, that's a lot of talking for me. So using your SWOT analysis, I would like you to write one SMART business goal for 2023. Have a look at your SWOT analysis, maybe have a look at your weaknesses or maybe opportunities, and pick one thing, a realistic thing that you think that you could do to increase your business, help your business, scale your business, grow yourself for 2023. I'll give you 3 minutes to write down a SMART business goal, and then we'll share the results together in the chat. And some music. One minute left. Ten seconds. Okay, all done. Now, I know that was difficult. It's always difficult doing these for the first time. Bridget has shared that she's finding it a bit tricky because she's not the one setting, these types of traditional goals and things. But you have to think about yourself. As I said in the chat, maybe think about growing some personal skills as well. What's the things that you can improve? Maybe you want to skill up in something else, skill up in some sort of design or UI for those. And that would require maybe taking some time out, finding what it is to skill up with, and setting that goal and make sure you accomplish that. So it is difficult. Murray says he's going to need to do this a little bit later, but it's a lot to think about. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to do. No surprises that design business owner Bob was me. So I've spun up a new business. I'm looking to sell WordPress courses. It's a completely new business. It had 0 on the email list last month, and I started this. So I've got 3 lead magnets. I've actually got 4. Don't tell anyone. But I've been kind of putting them out on social media roundabout, and as of today, I checked. I have 67 people on my email list. So that's from From the 1st of November, I had 0. And within a month, I have 67. I have set my goal for 300, not 100. I've actually changed it. So I am well on track to getting that done within the next 3 months for that. Atul says, get 20 website projects done or 2 in a month. Yeah, that is achievable. Doing 2 in a month. If you're doing the same thing, if you're in like a vertical that you're knocking at the same types all the time, then once you've done 1 or 2, then you can pretty much copy them over and kind of trim down your development process, your project management process, your release cycle, things like that. So that's a great target to do. Thanks, Atul. Did anyone else get one down? Or are we all going to save it for later on? Julia says to try to promote the business through social media in local groups and communities to obtain at least 3 new potential prospect clients within the next 2 months. That's fantastic. That's a real SMART goal. You've got who's doing it, what you're doing it. You've got some time measurement as well, and very, very specific. So that is definitely something that you can achieve. Fantastic.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. So the thing about creating the goals is you need to see them through. So we can write them down on a bit of paper, but the next thing we need to do is implement them. So what I tend to do is I have my goals stuck on my wall. I can't show because it's right behind the camera, but I write my goals on the wall so I can stare at them all the time. I book things in my calendar as well. So maybe it's just for half an hour, maybe it's for 15 minutes, maybe once a week. Just to make sure that I'm looking over the goal, that I'm looking through these SMART objectives, that I'm hitting those, that I'm putting time aside, that I'm measuring it as well. So for example, if I had stuck to 5,000 original email lists, and then I'm measuring it every month. So I measured it today and I had to look and went from 0 to 67, then 5,000, that's not going to happen ever. So, sometimes you can fail at doing SMART results. I need to go back and review them. And just kind of tweak them a little bit. So even though you do write down your goal, make sure you're reviewing them, tweaking them, but putting them into practice as well. Allocate some time in your calendar for doing that. Right, fantastic, everyone. Really, really good. Bridget says she'd like to map out the event website design and development process from inception of event website going live to lead up to the post-event stages so that you can plot the stages and reduce small changes from project management. Daily, weekly across 20 websites to monthly or weekly updates. Excellent. Trying to reduce feedback load. So that last statement you said, trying to reduce feedback load, I would take that as a goal and then turn it into a SMART result using the text that you've said before. So you've got some measurement there, you've got some 20s, you've got some of the things that it's you that's to do, you've got a little bit of specificity there. So that's definitely something you could turn into a SMART goal there, Bridget. Okay, so if you didn't come up with any goals for 2023, then don't despair. Here are some common business outcomes that you may want to turn into a SMART goal for your business in 2023. I've just plucked these out there. So maybe it's something for you to think about. So let's go down the list. Grow your email list. Of course, put that one at the top because that's the one that I was doing. Increase your product or service market share. So this is a little bit of social media, a little bit of SEO to try and bite into the market share out there. Define your value proposition. So what is it you do? Who do you serve and how do you do it? That's basically your value proposition right there. It's like an elevator pitch. It's something that somebody comes up to you at a conference and says, oh, hi there. Hi, Will. What do you do? And you just go, bam, this is what I do. This is what I serve. And this is how I do it for those. So if you don't have a value proposition defined, it's probably a good idea to get one defined for 2023. Improve your company's brand and reputation. Everyone looks for, when they're engaging with somebody, they're looking for your portfolio, your skill set. They're probably going to look on Google for reviews and things. They're probably going to do a bit of a Google and see what comes up, under your brand. So it's always good to be improving that as time goes on. So it could be as simple as setting a goal that says every time that you finish a project within 1 week, you're going to reach out to the project lead and get them to fill out a Google review or leave a video testimonial or things like that. That could be a good goal to set. Increase customer satisfactions and ratings. Again, we're going back to Google reviews there. Improve customer retention. Increase sales volume. So maybe you're looking to scale up, maybe you've already grown, you're looking to scale. Reduce employee turnover. So for those who have staff, you know, if you've got people going out the door quickly, then what goals can you put in place to reduce that? Reach out to more community members. So this, again, is kind of a little bit of brand, a little bit of brand awareness. So you're reaching out to the community, you're engaging the community. Maintain or increase profits. You know, if you have a business that doesn't make money, it's just a glorified hobby. Strengthen customer service. So what can you go above and beyond to give your customers when you're delivering, or before, pre, or during delivery? You can install tools and systems to increase productivity. So I'm all about automation, as I said. So I do a lot of automation within my business. Increase the use of business automation for that. Increase your website traffic. So get into SEO and then the search rankings as well. And on the other side, grow your business. So you might be a one-person solopreneur, and you want to kind of grow and scale up a little bit. So how do you do that? So maybe think about remote workers, virtual assistants, things in that nature. Use video in marketing. So you might be a little bit shy behind the camera. That's okay. But just think about video. Video is really big, and it's getting bigger every year. So that might be something you want to start using in your business. Or if you're really camera shy, you might want to start a podcast. So if you think podcasts is rather blah, and a few years ago it's not, Google's YouTube. So YouTube recently have started promoting podcasts on YouTube, and they're aggressively promoting it. So they're wanting you to put your podcast onto YouTube. So, you know, if YouTube and Google think it's a big thing, it probably is. Establish the brand, message, and voice. What are you all about, and how do you engage with people? Are you like very smart professional, no nonsense, or are you kind of fun loving? Are you a bit quirky? You know, how do you approach your clientele? Become a thought leader in the industry. So this is all about expert and authority. You know, in your particular niche, who do people go to? Can you be that person? Can you beat that person? Increase your skill set. So we're talking about personal skills here. You know, we're all developers, designers, web creators. What's coming out in 2023 that we can look toward and skill up so that we're ready to be ahead of the curve for there. Market through a new channel. So if you've got your current channels that are churning along, is there anything else that you can break into? This is the opportunity side of the SWOT analysis. You maybe want to increase your quality of incoming leads. I know a lot of people get a lot of churn. So you might get, you know, 1,000 people to your website, and you might just be getting one lead, one quality lead a month. So what can you do to improve that? I'll give you a hint. It's probably your content and your sales funnel that needs adjusted there. Increase your lead conversion rate. So if you're getting quality leads, but you're not converting them, then you might want to have some goals that looks at your way of onboarding clients, your way of client initial meeting. You might want to look at your contract proposals to see if there's anything there that you can tweak in 2023 to kind of increase that conversion rate. Another one is develop new products or services. So you want to spin up some new stuff, or you want to market to a new channel or a new target audience to kind of, you know, try and get a larger part of that pie. You might want to decrease expenses. Everyone wants to decrease expenses. I certainly do. I spent $11,000 on web services last year, which was eek, and that's what my tax agent said as well. Improve profit margins. So what can you do smarter in your business to increase your profit margins? So like, not just make more money, but just increase the amount of money that you're doing, that the business is generating. Make investments in the future. What can you invest in? So you might not be buying properties. It's not that sort of investment. What sort of things can you put in place in your business to invest for the future? And again, you might want to use remote workers or look at hiring a virtual assistant so you can grow and scale your business. So those are just kind of some common business outcomes that I jotted down off the top of my head. So if you really didn't come up with anything from your SWOT analysis, and you're still thinking about goals to go forward with for 2023, you can pick 1, 2, 3 of these. I wouldn't do them all. Your calendar's going to get very, very busy if you do them all. But certainly you can pick off 1 or 2 of these kind of more general or common business outcomes and apply those for 2023. That's it. Hopefully you can find some time over the Christmas break to perform like a proper SWOT analysis, not just scribbling down in 3 minutes. Do a proper analysis of your business, come up with some SMART goals to implement in 2023. I would love to hear them. So if you come up with some over the Christmas break, pop them down into our Facebook page. So that's the Elementor Sydney Facebook page. Put them on there. I'd really love to hear them for feedback. Or, if you don't want anyone to see them, you can always DM us directly or jot us an email. Or all of our are accessible from the events.elementor website. You can get at all of us from there. Any questions? You can pop them down into the meeting chat. And just before I close this, all the slides, this is the last slide. This one here is a Merry Christmas to you all, because this is our last one for 2022. Hopefully we'll be back in 2023. I'm going to stop this just now. There we go. Oh my goodness, take a gulp of water.
Well deserved.
Thank you all. So if anyone's got any questions, please, you can either drop them in the chat or just ask me directly. Or any comments or feedback or anything on Elementor. So I've got a couple of thank yous. You are welcome. I love doing these things. I can chat for hours. It was probably twice as long. The presentation was twice as long up until today. You got a plug for your WP course as well. Yes, I do. It's called WP Accelerator, an 8-week course for WordPress designers and developers. And you can get it at willbrown.com. Watch this space, or watch the stat space next year. I'm going to do some early birds as well. So I'm going to get some guinea pigs in, do it at half or 25% the cost, and take people through an 8-week structured group coaching exercise. 8 weeks, 8 modules, how to build your business from scratch, from zero lead generation all the way up to customer retention, all with a WordPress focus. So have a think about that. That's something you might want to do next year. I'm happy to chat to you. Otherwise, no questions coming through. That is fine. Thank you very much, lovely people, for taking an hour with me and going through this exercise. Hopefully you found some of it beneficial, even if it's some of those common business tasks. So you have an Elementor question? Yes, I'm happy to take that if you want to drop it down in chat or just speak. Generate Press. You're asking about Generate Press on an Elementor meetup?
You're banned.
It's okay.
Now I'm using the theme.
You're using
Generate Press as a base.
Yep.
With Elementor, and
Yep.
Obviously there's a lot of hype about Generate Press's own builder platform, which I haven't had a look at.
Yep.
But I'm sort of a bit nervous continuing with Generate Press because I think I haven't quite understood the theme and what it really can do to reach its full potential.
Yep.
And of course, at some point, the Generate Press might sort of turn around and say, well, we've got our own builder. We don't want to work with Elementor anymore, and it becomes not compatible anymore. I just thought if anyone has any thoughts on that.
Yes.
You might have heard something in Sydney. You might Noosa here, the Elementor community is pretty thin.
No, that's fine. It's a great question. It's a great question. Let me just say that I use Generate Press as well. One of my clients uses Generate Press. They have a Learn Dash website. Generate Press is the main theme. They use Elementor for designing all the Learn Dash course pages and all the normal pages for those. They have 24,000 users on those, and it's running on 2 or 3 VPS machines. So there's a stack for confidence there. So, Generate Press with Elementor and Learn Dash and the whole buttload of users as well. And so they have used that stack. If you look at my willbrown.com, the one that I put down in the chat, that's built on Generate Press and Generate Blocks. So this is Generate Blocks is their builder. It's very different to Elementor. Elementor's a drag and drop. They've got their widgets, they drag and drop. Whereas Generate Press is all about using the editor, using the Gutenberg or the block editor. So they provide, their framework provides a very limited amount of blocks. You've got like a grid block, you've got a control block, you've got a loop block, very, very minimal. But it basically allows you to build up, you know, as you would with WordPress blocks, but they provide their own blocks. So it's a block interface, which means you've not got any heavy back end like Elementor. So Elementor is very JavaScript and assets and file heavy, you know, so it can do all these fancy widgets. Whereas Generate Press kind of takes you a step back and says, let's just do everything in the editor. Let's do it simply and elegantly for those. So I don't think there's ever going to be a point where they won't support Elementor, because Generate Press is all about the WordPress editor. So they follow what WordPress core does and just build upon the core. So I don't think there's ever going to be a time where it's not going to be supported with Elementor, because Elementor basically builds upon the WordPress editor. So I think those two are always going to go, always going to be aligned. So I don't think you've got any problems with them having conflict.
Yeah.
For those.
You know of any courses or YouTube videos? Because I haven't been able to find a lot of material or learning material on Generate Press plus Elementor Pro, or Generate Press Pro and Elementor Pro, just basically to understand and to get the full, you know, the full potential out of both.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get any, simply because Generate Press as a theme is very minimal.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot you can do with the Generate Press unless you get the Generate Blocks, which is their theme builder. There's not a lot that you can do with that. So Generate Press is a very minimal, sleek theme, which means that when you put Elementor on top of that stack, then it's 99% Elementor. So you're not going to get any, you're not going to use the Generate Blocks and Elementor together because they will clash. So you're basically saying, I'm just using it as a theme, a nice lightweight theme, and then you're building on top of that. So essentially, you know, there's nothing else coming in from the theme. You know, it's just Elementor. It's Elementor 99% for that. So just concentrate on Elementor.
Because I was at the moment, I built everything basically from scratch in from Elementor, and I thought if I can basically have a few, you know, fast track, cheaper versions, just use some of the pre-built kits from Generate Press Pro, because I have a few quite visually appealing sort of layouts, and then basically mix it up. Can I actually, I haven't tried it. It's just something I thought about recently.
Yeah,
so
I
can't sort of download this template and then add my own.
Yeah, that's probably not, that's not going to work. Because the Generate Press, if you're using their template kits, you're going to require their framework to use that. And when you use two frameworks, they are going to bang heads together. So yeah, just stick with Generate Press the theme and Elementor as your builder stack. If you want to know just what Generate Press and their own one can do, have a look at my website. Have a look at this one as well. That's a client website, and that's purely built just on Generate Press and Generate Blocks. So there's no Elementor in that stack, but we could add it on if we liked, if we wanted to. So yeah, that's a great question. Super question. Anyone else got any questions? No, we're all good. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I hopefully you found something useful for that. We will be back in 2023 in some shape or form. So keep an eye out on the events.elementor.com. Have a look at the group and the email list as well. We'll send some emails out. But thank you for joining me. Have a very, very Merry Christmas and a lovely New Year. And hopefully we can see you back at the next meetup in the new year. So thank you, Silke. Thank you, Murray. Thanks, Bridget. Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Julia. Thanks, Morris. I know Morris is gone, but thanks anyway.
Have a good one and happy holidays, guys.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas to all.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.